we go. We're live. Hi, everyone. So this is, I have a guest with me. Emily is with me. I am your host, Coach Kayla, and most of you know. We're going live in my Facebook group as well as our YouTube page and my Facebook page. So mostly plant-based runners I know that are in this group. And Emily has a stretching business and wanted to come on and talk to you guys, about the importance of stretching. And this is actually a really good time, I think, to do this because even in my personal life, if you guys have been following my running journey, I got a little injury and realized I wasn't stretching as much as I probably should have. So I would love Emily to, talk more about this topic because I think it's so important. And of course, if you guys are live, let us know you're live. Say hi. I see somebody put in the comments, Emily. So maybe they know you, which is awesome.
I actually know the amount of in my scheme of being in the running community. The running.
You know a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it's a big community, but at the same time, when you get to know people, it becomes like a smaller community in a way.
Yeah, there's definitely running coaches that have either like come across me or I've in my share of things in business. You try different avenues, so
yeah. Awesome. So I'd love to start off just having you tell everyone who you are and just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Emily Stein, and I've always been a very energetic person, and I was put in dance like when I was little because I was always like the kid that was like kind of going around and jumping around, and so I started dance when I was like 5 years old, and it was just kind of a way to kind of get excess energy out, and I did all kinds of dance, tap, jazz, ballet. I just had a lot of energy, and even now, I try to take the time to get excess energy out, whether it's just like going for a walk or doing something at home. I guess these days we're all motivated to do different things. I'll do like an at-home workout. My movement is Pilates and kind of just stuff that's easy for your body. And I started running kind of, I think vicariously when I was in high school because I was just forced to be in sports and I did not like it. My ankles didn't like it, but then before that, when I was little, I did soccer, and that just did not happen. That was like not a thing for me. I tried. I was in that, and then I was in basketball. So, but yeah, sports for me were not like I didn't really grow up in a sports athletic family. But yeah, I did it for a while, and then I just kind of stopped liking it because my ankles and my knees, and then I came across the stretching modality because I used to have really bad not ankle and knee problems, but just general walking around. My feet would bother me. And so I always think that if runners have 10 minutes a day just to do something, just to take 10 minutes to stretch. And it's the dynamic stuff because there's the static stuff, which you know about. So I know that's kind of a little bit of put everything in a little pocket, but yeah, that's my story. Just I've always kind of been a movement person. I think that the more we move and do different things like cross training, like runners do yoga, or I don't do a lot of high intensity workouts. It's just not something I enjoy, but I do them on the occasion when I feel like, okay, I need to do something. But yeah, I guess running and other activities like sprinting, as I was saying before, things I'll do to get out this energy, which is good to have energy because it's also a way to release it.
Yeah. So professionally, how did you get into kind of your focus on stretching?
So this has probably been 5 years now, and we're kind of at the cusp of something that is becoming new and big. Like stretching is becoming trendy, and it's interesting how 5 years ahead of everyone else that's just realizing, oh, we should do this. So I did a training in New York. It's called Yamana Body Rolling. It's very specific to bone and muscle work, and it's really good for anyone that just wants to get more detailed fascia work. And I did the training. As part of my training, I sold the balls to people because, hey, here's a ball you can use, and here's how you can use that on your own. So I did that, and then I take recertifications every year. One of the modalities that's actually really good for athletic people and runners is called table treatment. You lie on a table and you just get to like feel, because runners are so active and they want to think they're fast, but it's good to it's good to take the time to slow down and breathe, because I know that everyone in the athletic field, you all like to go really fast and you want to run, but it's like if you don't take care of your knees, you're gonna. I hear a lot of common. I know I'm kind of bringing something up that was a question, but like the injuries I see and the people that are walking around, and you're young, but if you're an older person and you're not taking care of your body and you're not doing the things to just like take 10 minutes and just stretch. So, and then that was just my kind of interest in seeing things. Okay, I wanted to put this on a shirt. Says if you're tight, come roll with me. Like I was like something along those lines, like come
Yeah,
stretch.
I like that.
Because I shifted my marketing because stretching has become so popular that I kind of shifted my focus, because 90% of the time people come to me for stretching, but if they're bone and if you're stiff, it's hard to stretch you, so it just makes you more pliable. So I did that, and then I came across a stretching modality that is highly recommended to everyone in the athletic community. It's called active isolated stretching, and I think a lot of other modalities kind of like took it and then stemmed from it. Like there's other things out there that are kind of similar. So his name's Aaron Matties. He's a registered kinesiotherapist, and I've been following his work, and I wrote a little book on stretching. That was my little thing I did during COVID, and yeah, it's just a nice way to take care of yourself, and it's a way that you can stretch yourself without having to have a prop. So I think the athletic community, like everyone has their roller. I don't poo-poo on rollers. People have their tools. I just think it's good to have access to different things. So I did my first seminar like 4 or 5 years ago with another colleague of mine, and I was vicariously introduced into this stuff through family, but kind of always knew I was going to be a helper. But I realized that you're only one person. So spreading the word, getting people to turn on to something. And so if you don't have to buy anything from me, but just I can educate you about strengthening your core, strengthening your knees, like the various components that go into an active, healthy runner's body. And I had a runner I worked with a couple years ago who did like Tough Mudder, and I see it happen all the time. Like they do these races, and like they're common thing. Like it's a high impact workout. You're on your knees, it's your ankles, and so I'm like, if you have ankle problems now, like I know it's a thing people resort to surgery, so I know that was kind of a lot to put in, but the basic concept is that I found something I liked, and I just getting the word out about it, and I really just started what I was doing from nothing, and I think it's just a matter of education, and people don't know, and it's okay. Like if you're running and you have flat feet and your ankles aren't strong, like I've seen runners out there that look really strong and runners out there that are flopping their ankles, and I look at them and I'm like, I want to save you. I see people, even when I go outside or I'm somewhere and I'm dropping and I'll see someone with collapsed ankles, or I'll see someone like running. I'm like, you should not be running. Like I've done races and whatnot. I'm like, I'm done. I did every race. Like I was like, it was just not for me. I was like, yeah, so yeah, that's kind of so I'm really gotten good at my techniques, and I've learned from some of the top people. And like from now, from like 5 years ago, I'm not the same. Like I really have perfected what I do, and it's just a matter of educating people. And kind of during this whole time, I do like online work, so people that want to have the ease of like working with me, I have equipment that I use. Everyone has equipment at home they use for the basket of some basket tools or sticks or that those people use, but it's just good to have things that are available. You can like have an at-home program that you can take care of yourself.
Yes, absolutely. So do you think your focus is more on preventive or treatment?
Or both? I would say both, because I'm looking at I would say preventive is important, but I would say majority of society looks at how I would say treating or how you can take care of something, because the word treatment is kind of associated with stuff like it's a treatment, it's therapeutic. So create a therapeutic avenue to take care of your body. So it's both. We really should prevent. We really should start kids and in this stuff. We should start people
Mm-hmm.
and not wait till we're 50 or 60 and then wait
Right.
till something happens, but we can't help what
Right.
society does. So I would say both. I would say it's
Okay.
both. Would say it's both prevention and treatment. How would you see it? Because you said you just had an injury. Like I'm like ding 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 ding.
Yes,
You had an
yeah.
injury. Like what happened? Like were you just not
Yeah,
taking it?
yeah. I always think it's interesting concept because like for me, I usually don't go seek help unless I get injured. But then because I know, because I'm a coach myself, right? I know probably leading up to that, I probably should have gotten help before to prevent, what had happened. And I was having a lot of hip pain, and I actually went to a chiropractor, and then
That's good.
but I also started doing yoga like every single day. I was like,
That's
I
good.
got to get back into my yoga because I know I could tell that I was just stiff. Like I got to the point where my body I couldn't even walk. Like I couldn't even almost get out of bed. It was so bad. And then, eventually working with the chiropractor, she, got me more
That's
in
good.
line and looser, but also
Yeah.
just the stretching and the yoga like helped greatly. And I took off like 10 days from running and just stretched and did
Yeah.
yoga. I was
That's
like, I
good.
know I just have to like stretch my body out because it's so stiff
I
right
know,
now.
and I've tell people like it's totally fine to take time off from an activity that you like if your body is telling you something like
Yes.
do it like if your body's telling you to do something. So and I would
Mm-hmm.
say not to push my stuff, but I highly push the balls and the wakers, the foot things for every runner out there, and I just do it because it'll work.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
you have I just push it because they work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that I just do it because they're the best tool for it's simple thing you can do to have something that you can like take out. Okay, like because
Mm-hmm.
you're remote, you probably do computer work. Like just you can use
Yeah.
the wakers underneath your desk. And so I mentioned the products, and the easiest thing is people to go to like Amazon and get them. But
Yeah.
when you're supporting someone local, like I was telling you that I could work with you
Yeah.
potentially and could work with you and say, hey, let me get you started on this stuff. And so it's good to have access to
Yes.
tools. So I'm glad you're doing
Absolutely.
stretching and yoga. The next thing is
Absolutely.
Pilates because it's all about your core. Because running is all about your
Yes.
core. It is,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I should
but
do more Pilates.
it's all about rotation. Because even in your body, like if it's because running is one directional. Like
Yes.
your hip function. So you're on the right start. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you at least took control of that. And
Yes, yes, yes. And luckily the pain has gone away. So I'm like
that's
so
good.
happy that
That's good.
whatever I was
Yay.
doing
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
really worked. Do you have your tools and stuff? Because actually I remember when we met, that's right, we met in Florida and you showed me your balls and all that
Okay,
thing you had. You
I
have it?
have the okay. I have one of them in front of me because
Okay.
my things are kind of around and I like don't have them nearby. But
Yeah,
these
no,
are
that's
my like
okay. Anything you have, would love to
yeah.
show.
So these foot wakers.
Um,
So these are like every runner. Even if you just have these, just these like
yeah,
so you can. Sorry, I'm trying to wait. Oh, oops! I didn't mean to put them on the camera.
no,
I
you're
keep
good. I think I see them.
okay. So they're just they're kind of like a nice tool you can use. They're just nubbies. And there are other like things you can use like out there. The people like to use tennis balls. But my biggest thing about people that work with tennis balls, the bottom of your foot is fascia, and you want to protect your foot. So these little nubbies basically they work on your foot. So think this is your foot, and you have three lines like underneath your hand. I'll kind of show you. So you have an inside line, an inner and an outside line. So here, so
Okay.
this, and this. So basically you work on your body. So yeah, if every runner just has foot wakers, and there are people that have,
Mhm.
there's a barefoot movement specialist. Her name's Emily Spleecall. Like she's like she's a podiatrist. I'm sure every runner has a podiatrist. I'm sure have you been to a podiatrist or have
No,
you
I
ever?
haven't.
So
I
okay,
should.
I'm sorry. I'm scooting
I
over because I
probably
didn't
should.
realize. Sorry, I'm
Because I've
putting
had
myself over.
injuries. I've had feet injuries,
Okay,
foot
I had to move
injuries.
over because it was out of the because it
Okay,
so these
there you
foot
go. Yeah.
wakers. So I'm not giving you a product demo, but I'm saying that
Yeah.
they're not expensive. I'm not promoting a thing. They're $60 for a pair. You don't deflate them. There's a little thing at the bottom of them that you just use. So I like to use them when I also use them on my hands. So they have it's basically you're hitting acupuncture meridians on your feet. So it's acupressure. So instead of like using a tennis ball, you're actually damaging the fascia underneath your foot. Like the padding on this part of your foot is your so people get plantar fasciitis because the heel bone. And how many runners have sciatica? How many runners have hip issues? I'm
so
sure.
common.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this part of your foot so is a this connects to your this imagine this is the bottom of your foot. This is the sciatic nerve. And so it's in your heel. So if you don't have separation from this part and the rest of your foot, so things get inflamed. The worst case ever. So people just it's a bit of prevention, it's a bit of treatment. So I have the other tool I don't have in front of me. They're called black balls, but you can use them for your legs. And then there's a specific program and specific tools that I'll teach runners specifically. But I just use these because it's a training that I went through, and it's called foot fitness because whether you're walking or you're running or on your feet, these just feel good. And people want to use different tools out there that there's all kinds of stuff out in the marketplace. But I'm giving you access to education, and I've done online sessions with people teaching them how to use them. I try to give you a little snippets of like show you like where you are because people learn something, and a lot of this work is very educational, and it takes time to soak it in and understand the material. So I'm super patient. Like 30 minutes on these is a lot. Starting with 10 minutes a day, starting with something is better than nothing. So that's one of my tools. I have others that are so because I try to promote stretching more, but I think that people can use the stuff because it's really effective.
Yeah. So you can keep those under your desk.
Yeah, I could. Yeah, I have
Use them.
Yeah, you can use them like imagine this is your foot. You can kind of imagine you're using basically the pressure when you're seated. You just kind of like shift your weight. Like you can use them I have people that I know that use them underneath their desks because it's an easy thing to use. Like when you just want to take 10 minutes and stretch your feet. So people have them underneath their desk. You can stand on them if you're doing standing work. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I love it. Cool. So let's see. I know we kind of just jumped into things, so I'm trying to look at my questions that I
want to make sure that we
like for you.
I want to make sure that we like.
That's okay. Yeah. No, I think we're covering some good stuff, so it's good.
I was gonna say something. I was gonna say from someone that used to be a runner. The modality it's called Yamana body rolling. It's actually I have proprietary like access balls. So for someone that's looking to work with someone that is certified in teaching the modality, a lot of people will go to other people, will go to try other things. There's yoga tune-up balls. They're specifically meant for working on muscles and tendon and fascia. So if someone's like has really tight hips and they're wanting like specific ball work, this is the modality. Because a lot of things out there are really hard, and I've heard of people using like tennis balls for trigger point work. I just recommend them because they're just it's good to use something that's soft on the body. Like I think that people want to use like hard rollers. And then the other thing I do is I just use like a yoga strap for just doing a basic like active dynamic stretch. And then when you typically do a stretch, you only hold it for 2 seconds. People tend to hold a stretch for too long, and it's the concept of the reciprocal inhibition. Exactly my words. So it's the reciprocal inhibition. So it's just a concept of like using different tools. So it's a mixture of like, hey, I'm going to use this today. I'm going to use this today. So that's kind of how I see it from someone that used to be a runner and does things that are active. I usually recommend people. I wanted to say that make sure that it's a very niche modality and people don't know about it, but the athletic world needs to know about this stuff because the roller's good, but it's only superficial. It doesn't get to. I know you've had the demo when we first met, so you understand it's just something out there, and it's an investment. Like you invest in your body, you invest in things. You're investing in something that you can use. Like once you learn investment, once you learn the routines, and you get into a habit and you learn from someone, you're good. And
Mhm.
you're on your way. And then you send your friends because everyone deserves access to the right tools to take care
Yes.
of their body.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
So what are some like easy kind of stretching or things that we should be that specifically for runners that we should be doing like on a daily basis or a couple
I would
times a week or what should we be doing and how much of it?
yeah, I would say like basic like calf stretch, basic
Okay.
hamstring stretch. I don't know if I can
Mhm.
do this right now because this is a podcast. But the idea of like you want to only when you're stretching your hamstrings, you're doing like the runner's lunge. You want
Mhm.
to basically like take your body into a like you're going into a like a runner's lunge when you're kneeling, but you want to go at a much slower pace versus what you would typically do.
Okay.
That if that describes it, I'm just trying to describe it verbally instead of doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I would say. Just do something, but do it slower, and like stretching before and after a run is important. So
Okay.
I
So
think it's just
before and
good.
after we should be
Yeah, I think
stretching.
it's yeah, and just do whatever you think is
Now,
comfortable.
yeah, and now before I was always taught, and I
Yeah,
would love to just see what your opinion is to do because
yeah.
you kind of mentioned this in the beginning about static versus dynamic. Can you talk about that? Because I was always told before run, do more, they believe dynamic stretching, and then post run, do more static stretching.
Okay, so I'm reading something that I wrote. So
Yeah, yeah.
the active isolated stretching is great for athletes because it's a dynamic stretching technique, and the static is solid, like it's not moved. So in the muscles, we have elasticity. So you know
Yes.
the whole idea of like muscle, what's the word? When your muscles go back, like muscle memory.
Yes.
So when your body is stretching in a proper way, like doing a hamstring stretch is just an example. So I'm not a running coach or a running expert, but I know that when your body does something that it knows, like your muscles will remember. Okay, this
Yes.
feels good. I would say the biggest thing is never stretch if it hurts. People do things. Stretching should never hurt. If you're doing something and it hurts, back
Okay.
off. No, people and I see it all and I hear about it all the time. Like stretching should feel good. Even it's like a simple a psoas stretch or something that you can do. So I
Mhm.
would say people use the word ballistic and dynamic and static. The best thing you can do is a dynamic active stretch. That you're that's what I would recommend if that makes
Okay.
sense. Trying to
Yeah. No,
because
whatever.
I'm not a running coach, but I have people
Yeah.
that I've worked with that do things, and the best thing you can do is like say like I'm gonna. This is for my neck because I'm just sitting talking to you. So this is like a basic neck stretch. So you would
Uh-huh.
take your hand and you would kind of like my other hand's on the floor and you can't see on the other side, but even just
Okay.
like everyone that just kind of reach your hand. So you feel that bring your head up and then to come over. So you feel
Mm.
that each time you go over, you kind of get that so it's slow dynamic. See how much then you come up.
Mm.
See how it's like it's really just
Yeah.
it's a typical stretch you would do, but it just has slower movement to it. And notice how
Ah.
see
Okay.
that's so and then other side. I
So that's
can't do
what you
left.
mean by slow dynamic.
And you inhale and then you exhale as you go over. So you inhale as you come up and then
Mm.
you slowly because you're not supposed to just jam go like this.
Right.
It's just that because you don't want to jam your
Slow.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm
Mm.
not invisible. I get tight too. I'm doing all the, I get all the
Mm.
same things that you get, but I know how to take care of myself. So you always want to stabilize. So if you're doing it yourself, you kind of have
Yes.
to. But I'm showing you like basic, like just basic neck stretch because we
Mm.
all get runners get neck tension. We all do it. We're holding up
Mhm.
our body.
And we're
So
always looking at our down on our
and
phone.
this is like just showing you kind of like see how I'm going and it's slow. See how I'm kind of using
Yeah.
my arm and I'm slowly so it's just about
Oh.
slow. See how it's different because you're going across like this.
Yeah.
So it's all about
Um,
active and you hold
more
it for two
movement.
seconds then come down. So it's see how that's
Mm.
yeah, so
Okay.
it's it's slightly different because it's not PNF. It's not like that's what typical athletic people know as PNF. It's yeah, it's slow because slower, And we do about 6 to 10 reps of each stretch. I'm just kind of showing you something for like.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's really helpful. Yeah. Good. Cool. Okay. So we talked a little bit about your tools. Is there anything else that you recommend for runners to have besides those foot things?
A stretching strap or anything else that you could use to basically take care of your health.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that's applicable to what you have going on. I think people just do things and they don't always not always aware of kind of what's going on. So let's say the stretching tool, I would say a strap or a yoga strap that you have around, or finding someone in your area that practice the AIS method, because I'm on the stretchingusa.com website. It's a phenomenal method for people that have an issue, and if there's not someone listed, like because someone wouldn't know to go on the website, I'm happy to direct them to someone. Like if they live in an area where there's not someone that does it, I do remote like online stuff. I'm happy to work with people and connect them with someone, because I just firmly believe in the modality, and I'm gonna keep promoting it because I did write. I'm gonna plug this before I go. I did write a whole book on stretching that basically kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what I do. I talk about stretching for flexibility, stretching for your back. So I just think that everyone has a resource and everyone wants tools to better care for their body, but we don't always think about it. And I think this is a part one discussion. It should be a part two, because there's stretching for runners, and then taking care of your knees, taking care of your feet. So it could be a whole topic.
Yes.
Just on knees. Could be there's a whole amount of the knee issues, the hip issues, the foot issues. So, and I'm happy to make it so the first is just in general. So that's my, just wanted to
do a part two.
Yeah. So it's a stretching with Emily. It's a little thing I wrote.
Can you get that on Amazon? Where can people find that?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. I can it's on there. It's my proud moment of.
Great.
I know it's hard to see it, but I know it's visual, but like see how like.
Oh, you have pictures in there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. So there's I would say like it's more of an interactional book. It doesn't really have like specific exercises. It just kind of gives you, for people that don't really know much about why it's a stretch, it just gives you kind of basic information. Like if they want to know more, then they can talk with me, and I can see how I can help them. So well, for anyone that's a long-term runner, stretching is just important. For long-term body care, for everything you want to do. So, and I am on Facebook, and I'm on my website. You'll mention that it's just active isolated stretching. If you look it up on Facebook, it should be on there. But yeah, that's what I'd like to leave people with, is just look for people that do this kind of method, because it's the best method that's really going to give you more bang for your buck. It just we're little people out there. Trying to make a difference in the world.
Yes. So. Yeah. And it's so overlooked, I think. Really.
And I'm glad that you realized.
It's so important.
I'm glad that you realized that you had to do something to take care of yourself.
Yes. Me too. I know it's hard, and what I see a lot is we especially as runners, we love to run and run and run. We don't want to take the time, we kind of push aside stretching as, I just don't have time for that. But then I see just these injuries, right, coming up all the time. And then we're in this cycle caught where, if you can't run, right, then our mental health suffers, because a lot of times we run for that stress relief, and now we're not getting it. And so we're like, I just want to run and I can't.
And I wanted to leave you with them, because it was one of the questions you asked me about, like, about living on a plane. What was like the last you asked me something about the quote, and
that's always my last question.
So it's cute. It's a good question to ask someone.
I
was thinking about how the saying, how that when people have an interaction with someone, I say it's not what you say, it's not what you do, it's how you make people feel. Like what's a quote you live by, or my Angela quote, it's not what you say, it's not what you do, it's how you make them feel.
Love it.
Because that's you make someone feel good. Like
Yeah.
everyone that I've worked with has always said like
Yeah. They just
that. Oh
feel
yeah,
better.
yeah, you feel better when someone teaches you something that makes an impact in your body.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Cool. I love that
Yeah,
quote.
I know. I actually have a little pocket. I have a little pocket in my Angela book that I open it sometimes when everyone's mental health gets sticky. That's the
Yes.
biggest thing is runners and taking care of their body. Like if you're not
Mhm.
if you want to run faster and you want to run better, just have the better tools so that you
Yes.
can
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
and if you do races, you can deflate the balls. You can take these with you. Amount of runners that
Mm-hmm.
do races, you can take them with you to races.
Mm-hmm. They're travelable.
They're travelable. They're travelable. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Anything else you would like everybody to know about stretching? And I
I
forgot to
think
mention as well, I know you're mostly plant-based, so I don't know if people
yeah.
know that, but
Yeah,
I
I
didn't know
mostly
if you
I
talk about that.
mostly yeah, so I'm mostly plant-based, but my biggest thing I advocate for is that consuming a vegetarian diet, taking care of your body and stretching, but stretching in the proper way that's healthy and doesn't hurt.
Yes.
So I've been plant-based for about 6 years and pretty health conscious. I've shifted some things because your body has to shift depending on what you want to do. But I would say I'm mostly plant-based and I do try to incorporate certain things when I can. So
Yeah. Good. Good. Yes. And I'm sure that helps keep that inflammation down in your
yeah,
body,
just I
right?
take
Being
B
plant-based.
I take B12. I take all those things, but yeah,
Mhm.
anyone that's doing any kind of athletic activity should do athletic stretching, and that's why I promote AIS. It's because it's the best stuff out there, but it's people learn it and it's active, so it's very educational. Like typically, just kind of leave with this, but typically when I do it, I have a table and I have a belt, and someone's on the table, and so I'm taking them through an active stretch. So
Awesome. Awesome. Cool.
yeah.
And can you mention again? I know you mentioned it, but where everybody can find you?
Yeah, so my website, and I'm gonna spell it out because people sometimes don't understand it. It's Roll for Fitness, and if you want to share I have a logo that you can use for sharing purposes.
Sure.
Yes, and it's get it rolled because you're rolling in a healthy manner for your body, and fitness because your fitness is anything. Fitness could be getting up and off the floor. Fitness could be anything. What I want to leave you with is that my mission is to help you move with more freedom and ease, so you can do all the activities, you can perform all the activities of daily living with more freedom and ease. Because people do things and they're like, okay, this hurts, or that doesn't work. So doing things in a way that make you feel better, but also more positive. So yeah, but that's what I want to leave you with is that making an impact in someone's life and making them feel better, because people call me for different reasons, but it's getting people the education and knowledge because I'm we're at the forefront of something, and getting education
Mhm.
starting somewhere. But yeah,
Yes.
that's my
Absolutely.
it's not rolfing because people tend to think that, but it's working your anatomy. The biggest thing I
Mm-hmm.
can teach people is connecting with their body. Because runners, if you want to run better, you need to know your body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't run because
Yes.
yeah my ankles don't. I said I used to. I bike. Biking is equally as good. It's good
Yes.
to cross
There
train.
you go. It
Yeah.
is.
So,
It
yeah.
is. And that's what I've learned about my body. I think through my journey is, there can be sometimes too much running and that cross training or doing yoga, Pilates, whatever it is, biking, doing these other things,
Yeah.
swimming really does help for sure. But yeah, everyone's body's different. And I've learned you just gotta get to know how your body works. And sometimes it's hard to figure that out if you're kind of new to your sport or
Yeah.
kind of new to movement. But I think we all have on our, on a journey, and it can change. And there are
Yeah.
going to be phases of your life where you like doing something more, more than others. But I love what you said too. It's all about just finding that movement and feeling good and being able
Yeah.
to do the movement.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just finding
Yeah.
moves and incorporating different things. Like
Mhm.
I mix rolling and Pilates and stretching. I mix things because
Yes.
you're a runner, but you want more active movement. So I mix
Yes.
Pilates moves with the balls I use because people are like, oh, like I can do a core workout and get stretched. And active, I'm telling you, I have all the activities out there. I can challenge you. You want a challenge? Contact me. I'll challenge you. I am not.
Love it.
I'm up for challenging people because if you
Yeah.
don't, I try to do stuff, workouts for myself. But yeah, doing different
Yeah.
things that challenge your body. So,
Yeah. Love it.
and
Love
your
it.
brain. Yeah. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking this time with
no
us
problem.
and talking with us. I know I got a lot out of this, and I hope others did too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we will touch base and talk again soon.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. And maybe a part two.
Yeah. I think we should be a part two
Yes,
because there's
absolutely. There's so much more.
yeah, there's
We
not
didn't
enough. I
quite
mean,
get
I can
into.
it can be a part two like gives like part two demo. Like, hey, here's how you.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, thank
Okay.
you. Bye.
Bye.